What is up, YouTube? Welcome to the Daily. Gonna be doing a coaching call here pretty soon. It's my Insiders Club group coaching. It's always a good time. That's the first thing of the day here. First Saturday every month we do a group coaching in the Insiders Club, and that's what I'm gonna be doing this morning.
More dangerous than the people like me trying to get on their Google.
Okay, so
stuff out here.
That was a good morning. I did a coaching call this morning with my Insiders Club. It was about an hour and a half. Great content, great questions. A lot of fun, always good doing those coaching calls for those guys. And now I am gonna get some lunch, head back to the house, see what my family's doing, and then figure out what I got going on this afternoon. Just going to the grocery store to get a few things for supper. It's Saturday night, you know. Just thought we'd get something a little bit special for the kids, something different than what we usually eat. I'll tell you guys what's crazy, man. I spent my entire 20s, I mean legit my entire 20s, as a musician, like in and out of all kinds of bands. I played music all over the place, and I guarantee you I never made more than $1,000 total selling my own music. Probably have 8 solo records. I have, that's not even counting music I've written for bands I was in. I mean, I probably have written and recorded over 12 or 13 albums of full music, and it's just I couldn't make any money, you know, but I just wasn't business savvy, you know, back then. But I chased that dream for like years, right? Years, you know, over a decade. I chased that dream, and man, it was hard to let it go, but man, I made thousands of dollars online, you know, just in the make money online space. Like, it's unbelievable how hard it can be to sell a record of music, and how easy it can be to sell a product that teaches someone how to do something they want to do. And I think it just comes back to, you know, who they said got rich in the days of the gold rush, you know. It's the guys and the merchants, you know, selling the shovels and the picks and the equipment to the gold miners is who became very wealthy. But most of the gold miners came up empty-handed or losing money. They didn't make any money. A few of them made a lot of money, but most of them didn't make any money. But the merchants got very wealthy. So it's funny, it's like, you know, like I could spend over a decade, you know, writing and recording music and perfecting my songwriting craft, but when it comes to just working for myself and doing my own thing, it would have been a better situation to sell the microphones. It's funny when you think about it, but you know, there again, when I was a kid, you know, I didn't have any entrepreneurs that I looked up to. You know, my dad was a blue-collar worker, and my mother, she worked in healthcare. So they were both hard workers, and they worked. I grew up feeling like when you wanted money, it was time to get a job, you know? And it was just the idea of starting your own business it didn't really feel real, you know? It felt kind of like a pipe dream. Like, yeah, okay, maybe you could start your own business one day or whatever, but it just didn't feel real, you know. I had no entrepreneurs as mentors or as you know, people in my direct life who I could see what they were doing and to make it feel real, like it was a real thing you could just do. that's where I hope I'm giving my kids the advantage, you know, because they're growing up seeing me do what I do, and it's going to be just like natural for them to be able to start their own business. I hope. Who knows what'll happen? I mean, you know, kids got minds of their own, man. They do what they want to do, but I hope. And as far as music goes, like, I love music, man. I mean, I think music's a tough sell. I don't know. It's kind of a crazy thing, man. It's not the world I grew up in, you know, put it that way. It's a different world when it comes to the music scene, that's for sure. This is an old movie theater that actually stopped operating, you know? And it's been closed for like 2 or 3 years now. And I'll tell you, if I were to get a drone, I would fly it over this thing, and I would insert that drone shot, that random unnecessary drone shot, right here. But you guys just use your imagination. And here's the thing, nobody buys music anymore. I mean, you know, I remember going to, you know, Best Buy 10 years ago, and like it was full of CDs. Now, I mean, they have very small amounts of inventory for the compact disc. I mean, people don't buy music on compact disc anymore. If anything, they buy streaming services for their music. They get like Spotify, or they get like Pandora or whatever. So people don't listen to music in the same way anymore. The music's not consumed in the same way. So to me, the money in music, to me, is in licensing. I don't think artists today has to play more than one show a month out in public. Now it's a different story. I think I would have my artists doing more live streams on Facebook and YouTube than I would actually playing out there, you know, in public. I think once a month is enough to be playing out there. I would have them doing live streams more. And I think that I would be making licensing deals with companies, because that's where I think the money is right now with music, is in licensing. And you could say in merch as well, but I think the real money is going to be in licensing. That's my point. If you want to, if you're looking at it like the music is still the product, because I mean, all musicians want to feel like the music that they create is the product, right? But the fact of the matter is, the money is in licensing your music out to like a movie or a video game, or you know, an independent, you know, company that's creating independent films, or, you know, a company that's creating small time commercials, stuff like that. I think that's where the money's at, personally. Yeah, you know, it's whatever. It's neither here nor there. I think it's a tough sell. I mean, it's a lot easier to sell shovels to gold miners, put it that way, right? It's a lot easier to sell in the make money online space or in the how to lose weight space than it is to sell in the musician space, in the music space, because, like I said, there's just not a perceived value for actual music right now for just a normal consumer. First of all, there's like 1 million people in the store right now, and I can't say anything because I'm one of them, but it is super crowded over there in the grocery section. I thought I'd pull over in the yarn aisle here. No one should bother me here. I see stories sometimes that just blow me away. Like the other day, I saw this story online. They were talking about how they just cloned a monkey for the first time. And I was like, in my mind, I'm thinking, that's news? They just cloned a monkey? That's supposed to be a big deal? I mean, admittedly, I'm not a DNA expert, but I remember like 20 years ago, it was like 20 years ago or something, they were cloning sheep, like Dolly the sheep. They cloned this sheep named Dolly. And that was like 20 years ago. It was a big deal then, and there was all this controversy about, is it ethical to clone humans and this, that, and the other. So I see this report about him cloning a monkey like it's a big deal, and I'm thinking, wow, that's pretty weird. So I talked to my wife. I said, hey, did you see the story about them cloning this monkey? And she said, yeah, that's kind of funny. I mean, I thought you could clone. I thought cloning was more advanced than that. I didn't know it was some kind of big deal that they cloned a monkey. I said, yeah, that's what I was thinking, you know. And she's like, I mean, you can have your pets cloned, you know. And I was like, really? You can have your pets cloned? I didn't know you could have your pets cloned. Turns out she was absolutely right. I looked into it. Yeah, it's a service, man. You can have your pets cloned. If you have a pet and you want to have them cloned, you can have them cloned. I don't know how it works. I don't know if you can do it after they already die, or you have to do it while they're still alive. I don't know how it works. But what I do know is it costs $50,000 to have your dog cloned. If you want to have your cat cloned, it's $25,000 to have your cat cloned. And there's a waiting list. And my wife was telling me the story about this guy who had his bull cloned. He had a pet bull. He had it cloned. And pretty freaking bizarre. You guys, leave me a message in the comment section if you remember that crap about what I'm talking about. But it just seems weird. Why is it news that they just cloned a monkey when they cloned bulls and dogs and cats and, you know, sheep and horses and cattle and livestock, and now all of a sudden they clone a monkey and it's a big deal? Why? Because it's got DNA very close to humans? I mean, I would be very, very surprised if they weren't already cloning humans on, like, in the underground, like in the dark. You know what I mean? Like in the dark alleys. I would be very surprised if they weren't cloning humans in dark alleys somewhere. Why? Because, you know, the rich and powerful want to stay rich and powerful. You know, why wouldn't they want some kind of like a backup kidney on hand, or backup liver on hand, or backup heart on hand, or backup freaking eyes on hand? It's just like that damn movie, The Island. You guys remember that movie, The Island? If you haven't seen that movie, The Island, you better go check it out. I'm telling you. I think there's a lot of truth in a movie like that. I think that movie has a lot of truth in it, man, and I'm not kidding. You know? I mean, who's to say these companies that want your DNA, you know, you send them your DNA, you pay them money for DNA results, they take your DNA, they send you back some results, you know, they update the results as they get more information, it's all good, but now they got your DNA. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Maybe in the future they can use that to clone you. You know, you wouldn't even know about it, you know? They're growing clones of people, like, you know, for rich donors. Imagine if you're like a rich and powerful person, and you know, you don't want to be on a waiting list for a liver, or you don't want to be on a waiting list for a kidney, or you know, whatever, you know, whatever kind of transplant you need. You don't want to be on a waiting list, you know? Forget that. You'll just have a clone made for a couple $100,000 or $500,000 or whatever, and you'll be growing that clone like an insurance policy, you know? You telling me that stuff is not happening? Come on, man. If they can clone sheep, and they can clone monkeys, and they can clone this and that and the other thing, come on, man. Don't be naive. This is the kind of stuff that's happening in the back rooms, you know what I mean? This is the black market type crap that's probably happening that nobody's supposed to know about. But I mean, come on. If you can conceive it, then it's probably happening somewhere. I'll tell you one thing, I don't know how I got so bad at exercising, you know? Back when I was in the Navy, I exercised every day, you know? I mean, I was so good at it. And now, it's like I can't stay consistent with my exercise for some reason. It's ridiculous, you know? I need to pay like a trainer. I need a trainer. I need to pay somebody to just come and like smack me on the head when I try to eat a bean burrito, or yank me out of bed early in the morning and drag me to the gym and just make me do it. I think it was the culture. That's what I think. You know, when you're in the military, you're surrounded by a culture. Everybody exercises. It's a culture. You know? Around here, man, in Springfield, Ohio, there's no culture for exercise, man. This doesn't feel like it. Maybe that's just an excuse. I'm sure it's just an excuse, but, you know, it's just willpower, man. You know, I think that people do what they really want to do at the end of the day. People come up with all kinds of excuses, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, we find ways to do the things we really care about, and that's what I think. And I include myself in that. So I suppose when I really care about getting in shape and losing some weight, then I'll do it. And I just hope that happens before I have a freaking heart attack or something, you know? I hope I would like to think that I'd take it seriously before something that bad happens, you know? So, when does he get the message? That's the question. Started using this new app today called Trello. I mean, it's not really new. It's just new to me. But it's cool because, like, you can create boards for your projects, and as you get them done, like, you got to do, doing, and done, and you can create more. You know, you can create more lists, but these 3 are really sufficient for what I want to do. And you know, you can just move these things. You can slide them over with your finger. They're like little index cards. You can move them from to do, to doing, to done. So you can have an actionable list of stuff you want to get done today in the doing, and then you can slide it over the done. And then for tomorrow, you can move some more stuff. Like the night before, you can take the to-do list and you can move it over to doing. So then when you wake up, boom, you know what you're going to be doing for the day. You can get it done, slide it over to done. This is a freaking awesome app, dude. What's this game called?
Scary Girl.
Oh.
He swam leagues under the murky ocean to find fashionable items.
Cool. Day 11 in the books. Thanks for coming with me today, guys. We're on the eve of the Super Bowl. I'm excited. Everybody's excited. At the end of today, I will have done this daily vlog longer than I've ever done a diet. 11 days. So, that's some kind of record. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for joining me on the daily. Peace, everybody.